Caitlin Clark walked onto the practice court Sunday morning, looked at the cameras, and said 6 words every Indiana Fever fan has been waiting almost a year to hear. "I'm 100% cleared. I'm 100% go." She played 13 games last season. 13. A quad, a groin, an ankle. She missed more of 2025 than she played. And now, on the first day of training camp inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, she's healthy again. Head coach Stephanie White was right there on the floor with her, pulling her in and out of reps, managing the workload, being cautious with a player the entire franchise is built around. But here's the twist White hasn't told her yet. While Caitlin was rehabbing, Herb Simon was spending. 2 days before Clark declared herself 100%, the Fever signed the richest contract in the history of the WNBA. 4 years, $6.3 million. Aliyah Boston, locked in through 2029. A day before that, Kelsey Mitchell, 1 year, $1.4 million Supermax. 20% of the entire team salary cap on one player. Follow the math with me. The Fever's 2026 cap is $7 million. That's the whole thing, the entire budget for 12 roster spots. Mitchell takes 1.4. Boston takes $1 million this year. Clark jumps from $78,000 all the way up to $530,000 under the new CBA. 3 stars, almost $3 million. Before you fill out the rest of the roster. And the real squeeze is next year. Boston's deal doesn't stay at $1 million. It balloons to 20% of the cap starting in 2027, roughly 1.4, matching Mitchell's number exactly. So project it forward. 2027, Boston at 20%. Mitchell, if she's re-signed, another 20%. And Clark, under the epic provision in the new CBA, becomes eligible for a $1.3 million max extension that same year. 3 players, $4 million, 57% of the cap. Clark's real Supermax, the big one, $1.7 million, doesn't even kick in until 2028. And I want you to hear that number in context, because it matters. A'ja Wilson just signed a 3-year, $5 million Supermax with the Las Vegas Aces. The reigning MVP, the reigning Finals MVP, the player who just swept Phoenix for her 3rd title in 4 years. That's the benchmark. That's the number Clark is chasing. And Clark doesn't get to sit at that table until 2028, if she's still healthy, and if Herb Simon still owns the team. So she's not just walking up to a table that's already full, she's walking up to a table where the check has already been signed by somebody else. And that's why what happened Sunday matters. Clark said she's ready, said she's healthy, said, and I'm quoting her here, she has a great perspective on camp. She sounded calm. She sounded grown up. She sounded like someone who spent 6 months watching from the bench and figured out something the rest of us are still catching up to. She came back to a contender, but the contender she came back to isn't built for her extension. Think about the message Boston sent. She was entitled to $1.19 million this year. That's the standard rookie max number under the new deal. She signed for $1 million flat. The team said it out loud in their own press release. She took less to help the Fever pay others. To help the Fever pay others. That's the phrase they used. Who's the other? There are 2 names on that list. Mitchell, already paid, and Clark, not yet. So Boston gave up nearly $200,000 this year, essentially as a down payment on Clark's next contract. That's the real story underneath the story. Boston and Mitchell aren't Clark's problem. They're Clark's teammates. The problem is the man writing the checks, and the math he's choosing to live inside. Let me pull back for a minute. Herb Simon has owned this franchise, in one form or another, since 1983. 43 years. He's the longest tenured owner in American basketball. He watched Reggie Miller in 1994. 7 games against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, 8 points in 9 seconds, and still no ring. He watched 1998, Reggie versus Michael Jordan, 7 games again, the Bulls, gone. And he watched 2000, the NBA Finals, Reggie against Shaq and Kobe's Lakers, 6 games, the closest the Pacers ever got. 3 deep runs, 0 titles. Then he watched Tamika Catchings wearing number 24 build the only WNBA title this organization has ever won. Back in 2012. He's 90 years old. He's seen every window open and close. And the fans who've been with this team the longest, the ones who remember those Knicks series, the Bulls series, the Lakers finals, they know what it feels like when the championship math stops working. It happened to the Pacers in the 90s. Reggie would show up, healthy, ready, and the salary cap around him wouldn't stretch far enough. It happened to Catchings at the end. One deep run, then the window shut. Simon watched both times. He's watching again. Because here's the situation on the ground. April 20th, 2026. Clark is 24. She's coming off a lost year. The Fever got knocked out of the 2025 WNBA playoffs in the semifinals, one round short of the finals, by that same Las Vegas Aces team, the eventual champions, A'ja Wilson's team, the team standing between this franchise and the title for the second year running. Clark is about to play a contract season under a cap she doesn't control, and the two teammates she needs most, Boston and Mitchell, are already locked up. That's the good news. Those two aren't going anywhere. The bad news, Simon's front office made its big moves before the camp door even opened. Cox, Kelly Krauskopf. They didn't wait to see what a healthy Clark looked like at training camp. They signed the deals in April. Before Sunday. Before the 100% quote. Before anyone in the building knew whether Clark's quad was going to hold. What does that tell you? It tells you the front office bet on a two-star core of Boston and Mitchell, and left Clark's slot open to be figured out later. That's not neglect. That's not malice. That's cap discipline. But when you're the star carrying the franchise on your name, cap discipline feels a lot like being second in line. So when Caitlin Clark walked off the practice court Sunday and flashed that smile at the cameras, that wasn't a victory lap. That was the quiet moment before the hard part starts. She gets one healthy season. One. To prove her body holds up. To get the Fever past Wilson and the Aces and into the finals. To earn the MVP that would unlock the real Supermax. Wilson's number, $1.7 million in 2028. Instead of the smaller $1.3 max she's currently tracking toward in 2027. And she has to do all of that, while Boston and Mitchell eat 20% of the cap apiece. And Simon writes the checks. The championship isn't gone. But the math got harder this month. Much harder. And the woman who just said she's 100% is about to find out whether that's enough.